How's it going, Pokemon fans and Rowlet stans? Today we're going to be taking a look at the latest Pokemon rumors, leaks, news, everything. So let's get started, guys. First things first, me and your boy are excited because there is a new tweet that's come out by the Pokemon Company specifically hinting at, well, in this case, the next Pokemon Presents. And usually they don't tend to tweet a lot ahead of a Presents, but the fact that they even tweeted this out is a little weird. Also, you can leave. I don't want you. Either way, let's take a look at this. So, a teaser for next week's Pokemon Present has been posted. Pikachu is preparing something. Well, what could that be? Well, if we look at the tweet itself, it's right here from the Pokemon Company. The official Japanese account tweeted this out. And if we translate this tweet, by the way, it comes out to the following message, more or less. On Tuesday, the 22nd of July, which is next week, Tuesday, literally 1 week from now, which is probably why they're tweeting this now, because it's literally 7 days away. But they say, though, on Tuesday, 22nd of July, the Pokemon Presents broadcast will be available, with the viewing page opening at 9 p.m. on the same day. 9 p.m., I guess, Japanese time, which that's like afternoon for Europeans and early morning for, if I'm not mistaken, for Americans, I think at least. But that's like the viewing page. Oh no, sorry, that's the viewing page. No, so that's really like early in the morning for Americans and just regular early morning for Europeans, give or take. But the fact that they're tweeting this out and the fact that they include this Pikachu image is a little bit odd. First of all, the Pikachu image is a bit weird. There's a giant TV. That's nothing weird. Like maybe that's like just going to be the TV that's going to say Pokemon Presents on it. They've done this before. But why there's like a little DJ looking table and what this whole thing is here, I don't really know. Some people make the joke that, hey, everything in this scene besides Pikachu is black and white. Black and white remakes. Woo! It's not happening. But it is a cool idea, at least to think about. But the fact that they tweeted this out is pretty intriguing because they don't tend to do this. This is more or less out of the norm for them. Like, they don't tend to do this ahead of time. So that's why this is, interesting to look at. I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. Let me know in the comment section down below. And naturally, we're going to move on to the next one. In this case, that's going to be this post that came out by Stealth40k. Now, if you guys do not know Stealth40k, he is a video game like I don't know if like an analyst is the right thing to call it, but he keeps up with Pokemon, Nintendo, and all that kind of stuff, and does share a lot of information and news that he hears about. And he basically shared that Nate the Hate. Now, Nate the Hate is in itself a creator of sorts, like a content creator of sorts, who also has a lot of inside information oftentimes. And he came out and said that there is a Nintendo Direct in July after the release of the Donkey Kong Bonanza. Now, Donkey Kong Bonanza, if we look it up real quick, should be releasing let's see, on the 17th of July. So that is literally on Thursday. So in 2 days, it's supposed to release. So he's saying that Nate the Hate says that there is a Nintendo Direct in July after the release of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Let's go. And it's a link to one of Nate the Hate's videos here. In this case, his podcast, where he, I guess, talks about this. We'd have to go into it and actually, like, find where he says that. Is there a Nintendo Direct coming soon? And you guys can go take a look at this, on your own if you want to see the actual full breakdown of what he says. Just literally, that's all I'm going to say on that one. But yeah, more or less, he says that there's supposed to be a Nintendo Direct. He's not the first one. I think Beat 'em Ups also said in one of his podcasts that July is supposed to have a Direct in it, like a regular Direct, and not a Donkey Kong Bonanza one, because they already did that. So I don't really think it's that crazy to assume. Like, Nintendo Switch 2, there's practically no games right now besides Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart, World, for people to really buy and play that are actually exclusives to the Switch 2, because in reality, most of the stuff that you can play, you can just still play on the Switch 1. You don't actually need a Switch 2 whatsoever. You can still play everything on the regular. Same thing goes for a few upcoming games like Metroid Prime, as well as Legend ZA. Both of those games will be playable on the regular Nintendo Switch 1, so there's still like no big game besides Mario Kart World and I guess Donkey Kong Bonanza, which, no offense, I'm not a fan of Donkey Kong Bonanza. I don't really care about Donkey Kong games, so I wouldn't really be interested as somebody if you were to encourage me to buy it. And I know a lot of people that feel the exact same way. Unfortunately, Donkey Kong, it's big, but not that big. And then Mario Kart World, that's just kind of like, at this point, feels more like a pack-in game with the Switch, because a lot of people are just buying the bundle where they get it with it. And that game is a whole separate thing. It's like, it's a party game. People just buy it to have it in case they have friends over. The dedicated community who plays it actively is different from like your average person, right? But the main point is just this, that like, at the end of the day, getting a Nintendo Direct right now, not that crazy. Like, the actual idea of them doing it now is makes sense. They need something. They need games to be announced. They need some big things to be shown off. And summertime is the best time because then they can have enough time to, promote it, do all the promo cycle and everything like that, leading into like November, December, when they do want to make sure they sell a lot during the, holiday season, which is a big time for Nintendo as a company. So that pretty much summarizes that. But yeah, guys, so basically we have a Pokemon Presents, which we know is happening next week. That's guaranteed. And the potential, according to Nate the Hate and Stealth here, the potential of a Nintendo Direct in July as well after the release of Donkey Kong Bonanza. If that means like the day after on this Friday, the upcoming Friday, I don't know. That would be a little maybe pushing it. But still, the potential is there. They could even do it next week after the Pokemon Presents, like literally like right after it or something. They could do another one. Again, there's not like it's not that crazy to assume that these things could happen. But let's see what else we have to talk about today, because this was just like two first things. The second or third thing in this case is going to be this post coming to us straight from the land of 4chan or the hacker known as 4chan. But either way, so what are we taking a look at? Well, basically, it is a rumor specifically about the Pokemon Presents, and I'll talk a little bit about my own thoughts on the Presents itself and what we can expect at the end of this video, but let's get into it. So he starts by saying, info about the 22nd of July Pokemon Presents by Anonymous, posted literally today. And he says, I got this information from someone who works at the Pokemon regional localization team. Dude, if I had a nickel for every time I'd heard somebody say that they have somebody they know that works at the localization team for Pokemon, dude, I'd have at least like $20. But point is, I've heard that one a lot. They say, though, the trailer is about 25 minutes long. The video, okay, the trailer, don't you mean like the presentation? I'm guessing, I would assume they mean presentation, but apparently the video is currently undergoing double checks before being uploaded to YouTube for premiere. Most of the names introduced given are Japanese versions of the names. The names that he is really sure about in English, I will put in square brackets. Announcements not in order. So not in order of when they're going to happen, just in whatever order he decided to write here, but okay. He says, number 1, Pokemon Masters EX. Of course, the mobile game, which is, I think, literally banned where I'm at. So, Pokemon Masters EX, apparently, Kieran and Carmen debut, which makes sense. They've been now, in Pokemon since the DLC came out in, 2023? So, yeah, it's about time they get put into that game if they haven't been already. Kieran has Hydrapple, and Carmen has Sinistcha, which, okay, not that crazy. Second thing, Pokemon Sleep. The fact that that game still exists, it is beyond me. But Swords of Justice and Keldeo events, so that's fair enough for anybody who plays Pokemon Sleep. Number 3 is Pokemon TCG Pocket. Of course, definitely like a money-making machine is that game right now. So what did they say? Well, new booster sets named Enigmatic Legends featuring Ho-Oh and Lugia. Gen 2-centric sets. Again, doesn't sound that far-fetched. They do a lot, and I really mean a lot of sets for TCG Pocket. There's just so much coming out for that game, like constantly, like every month there's something. So as a fan of that, you might have a lot of stuff to enjoy. Again, cannot play it here. Then number 4, Pokemon Unite. Primarina joins Unite with a new map. Okay, I don't know if that's, see, these are the Unite one. The Unite ones are the ones that are easiest to prove as like fake, and the ones that kind of destroy these posts, because we do have people like Chico, like Chico Eevee, who does like data mines of upcoming updates for Unite, because Unite has like it's much easier to data mine for them because they already put things up, I guess, on their server and stuff, and they put already like things into the game before they actually release them. And that's because like it's not made, I think it's made by like NetEase or Tencent, like one of those companies in China, rather than being made by Game Freak or Creatures or Ilka or something. It's made by a Chinese company, and because it's an online game, similar to something like League of Legends or whatever else, people have much easier of a time to data mine it constantly and have an idea of what's coming next. However, that's the thing. That would also disprove these kinds of rumors much easier, because they can then look up what is the next Pokemon going to be. And if they can see through those files there's going to be something else, then it would prove this as false. But I don't really know because I don't follow Unite enough, so I wouldn't be able to know. But number 5, Scarlet and Violet. Okay, so what else? More outbreaks and Dragapult 7-star Terror Raid battle with Ghost Terror type. Okay, that's literally, I think, is actually what's happening, if I'm not mistaken. So nothing too crazy there. That sounds fine, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Dragapult is in Scarlet and Violet, right? It has to be. I'm pretty sure it is, right? I'm not going crazy. either way. Pokemon Champions, though, this is where it gets like, we go into the stuff that's, you know, like what we're here for. So, Pokemon Champions, release date announced, will be on the 25th of August? Wait, okay, so I'm going to say it like this. 25th of August release would make sense in some way because that is around the time when the World Championship for Pokemon is taking place. And this is a game that's aimed at literally those people. It's aimed at the people who are into the Pokemon, you know, competitive scene, who are into like competing and all that kind of stuff. That is literally who this is aimed for. This is like perfect time to release it to coincide with the conclusion of the World Championship or something. Like that actually would make sense. That does not sound crazy. It's not tinfoil. It sounds realistic, okay? So I'll say, honestly, that sounds pretty legit. Next up, Pokemon Legends ZA. So here we go. They say Emma officially debuts. She is now a detective working on a suspicious case that she believes to be linked with a man who calls himself Corview. She has a Mega Malamar, which would be revealed in the trailer. Mega Dragonite also is revealed via battle cutscene with a lady named Jacinthe. She has a maid named Delphinia, and Jacinthe is revealed to be the ZA tournament leader. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. I mean, I would have preferred if they kept that character, like, you know, secret, but I mean, it is what it is. Then, number 8, movie trailer featuring a new dog-like mythical named Aranem. The main character is named Junie. Dude, if they actually announced a new movie for Pokemon, that would be sick, because we haven't had a new Pokemon movie since, like, what is it, man? Like, since 2019, maybe? 2020? 2020, I think 2020, isn't it? 2020. Because the thing is, you got to think about it, right? We haven't had a Pokemon movie ever since, like, you know, the whole, like, pandemic and everything. That kind of, like, shut down any sort of new movies and, like, anything like that from Pokemon. And it kind of just, like, shifted their mentality and they stopped making Pokemon movies, which also is not that surprising because Pokemon movies aren't really money makers. They don't really make a lot of Skrilla and cash. They tend to be kind of like, you know, net losses, or if they do make profit, it's like unsubstantial for the grand scale of the Pokemon brand. And I feel like they realized that it just wasn't super necessary to keep them around, so they stopped making them. But there's still a potential they might bring, you know, them back. And this could be the perfect time because you haven't had a Pokemon movie in close to 5 years at this point. Maybe a little less than that. I might be exaggerating, but almost 5 years since the last Pokemon movie, which this would be a perfect time to do that. And I would honestly be up for it. And also if they introduce a new Pokemon through that movie, that could be a movie like a Pokemon from the next generation, Gen 10, that they can introduce through this movie. So personally, I'm all on board. That actually sounds realistic to me. But again, I don't really know, dude. I'm a crazy guy, so what do I know? But hey, I would love to know you guys' thoughts and opinions on it. Let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, let's just, I guess, talk a little bit about the Pokemon Presents. So as you guys know, Pokemon Presents is coming up on the 22nd of July. If you didn't know, now you do. Which is literally next week, like exactly 7 days from now. But the problem is that what do we actually know about this Presents? Well, first of all, it was announced very early, you know, before its actual timing. So it was announced at the end of May, which is really weird because that's almost like 2 months ahead of time before the actual event takes place, which a lot of people have been questioning. Why did they do that? Was it just to quell people's, like, you know, hunger for news, or just like as a way to like just keep people from constantly asking for information, or some way to almost like reassure people that there will be information and news, given the fact that like last year we got jack all, okay? We got nothing. We got an entire year of no news, no info, literally zilch, zero, nada, nothing at all. So then the question really becomes, okay, did they specifically do this to make sure that people wouldn't be complaining as much and that there would be some sort of interest still in Pokemon, even though they weren't actively, you know, promoting it and stuff? Maybe that's the reason. Or maybe like some people are saying, maybe they're like announcing it early on as a way to prepare people and prepare like the media or whatever else for a massive announcement, whatever that might be. Because again, if this is an announcement that could be for something larger, like let's say Generation 10, if this was to be some sort of announcement, or if there was to be an announcement like that in the Presents, you got to think about it like logically here. They would want to make sure they have like a decent chunk of time there to prepare whatever trailer they want or prepare whatever promotion they want, but also the weird thing about like a Gen 10 reveal here would be just, one, it makes no sense. Two, it wouldn't really make sense to do it right now because you have Legends ZA and Champions, which you don't want to take away attention from. But there is one other thing. Remember how we talked about a Nintendo Direct possibly being in July? Well, what is one of the biggest franchises for the Nintendo Switch and for Nintendo as a whole? It is Pokemon. They don't own all of Pokemon, but what Pokemon does is it ships units. It ships units of consoles. People buy Switches purely to play Pokemon, right? Like, I I did that back in the day, I would have, honest to God, never bought a Switch if it wasn't for Pokemon for videos. Never would have had like any reason to buy it. I wouldn't have had any reason because I play mainly Pokemon on this thing. So the question then becomes, okay, is this like maybe potentially the time for them to announce like a massive project? It wouldn't make sense because that's what Pokemon Day is every single year, which is in February. So if they wanted to announce it, they should have done it then. Then the question becomes, okay, well, what is going to happen here? Well, the most likely scenario is Legends EA is going to get an obvious trailer, plus Legends EA is probably going to get some form of, let's just call it, like Mega Evolution reveal, like revealing brand new Megas, stuff like that. Maybe some more about the story. And then, of course, the second thing is Pokemon Champions. Now, we know nothing about Pokemon Champions besides what was told to us in February of this year. So this is about like the perfect time to do that, to reveal more about Champions, because right after like July, we have August, which is when the championship takes place. So honestly, that would coincide perfectly. But then again, I don't really know. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions, and of course, your theories in the comment section down below. But that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gents.